Alright, so let's talk about love. Oh, what a great class. Love. All these songs are made about love and how wonderful love is. Lots of movies are made about love. What things do you guys love? Who do you love? This is different than who your heroes are. Some of the heroes you might love, but maybe not all of them. Who do you love? No one? This is really depressing. Nobody. You don't love anybody. Do you love anything? Çokolay sorum. Is that right? Yeah, very easy question. Dilara, what do you love?
Mother.
Love your mother. Oh, Mom, I love you, Mom. How about you, Gopi?
I love every good person.
Every good person. Wow, yeah.
Okay, it depends on how you explain the meaning of love. Because in Turkey we explain different. We have different explanation for love. Aşk and sevgi.
Wow, okay, so if you couldn't hear this, he said in Turkey we have different explanations for love, so it depends on what you mean by love. Now, as a psychologist, one of the things that I'm interested in are cross-cultural differences, because things that differ between cultures, and also things that are similar between cultures, can teach us a lot about humanity. So, what's up with love in Turkey?
Actually, based on which
Can anyone translate that?
is explained. It's something like passion, but yeah, I don't know how to explain it in English.
Can anyone else help him? Yeah.
In Turkey there is this term aşk, which is used.
Aşk?
Yes.
Okay.
Which is used for falling in love with
Okay.
someone.
So like you meet someone, you're like, oh, okay, all right.
Also, there is this term sevgi,
Uh-huh.
which is used for everyone or every type of simple living things. I don't know.
Sympathy, basically.
Yeah.
Having a sympathy towards something.
Having a sympathy towards something. Is this
Yeah.
like sympathy, like, oh, you hurt your leg, get Schmichelson, feel better soon?
It's
Or
strong
is it,
sense of sympathy, not just like a sympathy. It's strong.
how about other things? Do you guys love kebabs? Or lahmacun? Do people say like lahmacun da çok seviyorum? I love
There's
lahmacun.
another
Yes,
term
yes.
for it. So,
What's this term?
oh, for food you say, I don't know, bayılmak.
Bayılmak.
You faint away, I think. That's
Okay, so I guess we should maybe define what love is. We can work on this a little bit later. But going with any of these definitions, what types of things do you guys love?
Which makes me happy.
Things that make you happy. What makes you happy?
Even seeing a flower. Or-
Seeing a flower. Oh, it makes you happy. So some people love flowers. Some people love their mothers.
Nature.
Nature. Some people love nature.
Music.
Music.
Good weather. I love
Good weather. Oh yeah, the hop is great today. Wow, let's go outside and cancel class. Maybe not. Yeah, my mom is really. Oh, my poor mother. Sorry, Mom. So my mom, she uses the word love a lot. She loves almost everything. So my kids will draw her a painting, and like it's a really bad painting, and she'll say like, "Oh, I love it." We'll go out for dinner with her, and we'll get some French fries, and she'll say, "Oh, I just love these French fries." And I'm like, Mom, come on, you don't really love those French fries, do you? Right? Some type of difference. Anyway, the way people use love, at least in America, where we don't have a lot of these, I guess, nuanced verbs, we use love for a lot of things. We love our parents, we love our country, we love our friends, our religion, we love foods, we love pets. Maybe we love psychology. Hopefully, if you're a psychology major, you feel some type of love or something akin to love towards psychology. Maybe helping others. You love to help other people. You're altruistic. You're a pro-social altruist. Hopefully, things will be reciprocated in the long run, and you love that. Why? Why do people express love towards these things?
Because they are meaningful to them.
Express loves towards things that are meaningful. Okay, I'll buy that. Can we tweak that definition a little bit? Because some things are very meaningful that I don't love a lot. So if you would come up here and start pinching my neck, this would be very meaningful. It would be painful, and I wouldn't say that I love that.
Meaningful in the positive sense, not in the negative.
Okay, so what makes something meaningful in a positive sense?
It's part, it fits to your identity.
Something that's related to your identity, something that fits in with your social identity, with your self-identity possibly, okay? I could identify myself as a diabetic if I had diabetes, or I could identify myself as something else if I had a particular ailment, and I might not love that, right? If I had diabetes, I would probably be mad that I had diabetes. I would wish that I would not have diabetes, and I would probably take drugs so I didn't behave as if I had diabetes, right?
So it's all about emotions.
How? How so related to emotions?
Love.
Okay? Things related to our identity that are meaningful to us that produce emotions.
No, I'm talking about the identity one.
Okay, forget the identity.
You asked why we love.
Yeah.
I think it's about emotions, heart, maybe our brain.
I completely agree with you that it's about our brain. What about our emotions?
Make you happy or what? Make you happy or these are peaceful things for us.
These are peaceful things, these are happy things for us? Yeah, I would agree. So, let's ask a different question. We'll return to this in a minute. How about, is the love you feel for your parents different than the love you feel for Lamajun or Hava? Of course, this is a really easy question, especially to people that have different verbs for these different types of feelings of affection, right? So, again, why do we love these things? Why does our love feel different? Maybe we can take some clues from Maslow. So how does Maslow's hierarchy of needs fit in with all this? I mean, you said emotions are important, and I completely agree with you. How do Maslow's hierarchy of needs affect your emotions? Social needs, okay. Safety needs. When you have your safety needs unfulfilled, that means you need them. You don't feel safe. How do you feel? Alone? Insecure?
With my father.
More generally, bad, right? If you have these things met, how do you feel? Fulfilled. Good, maybe more generally. If we look at the different types of needs, we can see how our love for certain things fits in. So what type of things do we love that fulfill our physiological needs?
Food.
Food. Pizza. Man, I love pizza. Every semester I talk about Palermo's Pizza. Palermo's is a small chain, it's not a chain. It's a small restaurant on the south side of Chicago, and they have the best pizza I've ever had in my life. If you ever go to Chicago, please go to Palermo's. I am passionate about Palermo's Pizza. It's delicious. It fulfills physiological needs. I love Palermo's Pizza. How about safety needs? We like our home, right? We feel safe when we're at home. The home should be a safe haven, a place where you're not in danger. And when you're at home, you feel safe. So lots of times people say that they love their home. They love going home. Religion. Does religion help fulfill safety needs?
Yes.
How?
You will be safe from hell.
Yeah. So even if you're maybe safe right now, there's the future, right? So a lot of the religions believe in an afterlife. And in a particularly nasty place in some religions, right, there's a hell. So if you believe in this religion, though, you get a free pass, you don't get to go to hell. Woohoo! You'll be safe. How about social needs? Yeah.
When we drive, there's this seat belt.
Mm-hmm.
We don't love it.
That's interesting. So you say that you don't love the safety belt, which keeps you safe.
I love
You love it?
Yes, I mean, people have different ideas of it.
Who here loves, okay, this is love in a very loose sense. Who likes to put on the safety belt? I do. I feel awkward when I don't have a safety belt on. When I don't, in the back seat it's different. In the back seat I don't feel this urge to buckle up like I do when I'm in the front seat. In the front seat, it's so strong, like I'll get into people's cars and they have the safety belt thing fixed. So like you don't actually have to attach it. It's already sort of there, and so it won't beep at you. And I'll try to get it and they'll be like, yeah, you don't need to do this. But I have to, because I don't feel good. I feel insecure without it. So I love it, loosely, when I've got that safety belt on in the front seat. Not everyone does. I think part of this has to do with social factors. So in America, where I grew up, there are tons and tons of laws regarding safety belt usage. And as we'll talk about a little bit later on, things that you get used to make you feel safe, and you feel, if love is too strong, you prefer those things.
And also the essence of Maslows Hierarchy is not love. It's like being satisfied.
A sense of what?
Satisfied, it's satisfaction.
For what?
I think the Maslow's point is not love here. You just associate.
Okay, so it's possible that I'm crazy. Like this isn't associated with love. Maybe it's just about satisfying our needs. So what I'm arguing here is that satisfying your needs leads you to love things. And we'll get to more about that in a little bit. But you're absolutely right. If satisfying your needs doesn't lead to love, then I'm really sort of way off base with this presentation. How about social needs?
Communication.
You love to talk with your friends. When you log onto Facebook, what makes you really happy?
Likes.
You get those little red things up on the top, right? Oh, I love it, people say, when I have those notifications. So social needs. We love our friends. We love our family. We love our religion. How does religion interact with social needs?
Religion keeps society together.
So it gives people a common set of rules, right? Social norms that can help people come together. And when people are doing those social norming behaviors, how do they fit in with the group? They fit in better with the group? Or worse when they are following the social norms? They fit in better. Also, religion often gives people a community of friends. Right? So if you are someplace where there's no one else of your religion, you might feel sort of upset because you don't have these people that you can go to. And if you go to different cities and you're a religious member, an easy way to make new friends is to go find the people with the same religion. How about esteem needs? What things do we love that help us, meet our esteem needs?
Accomplishments.
Accomplishments, like
getting 4.0.
getting a 4.0 on your GPA, maybe in psychology. So I enjoy psychology. It gives me self-esteem learning about psychology. I get a 4.0. I feel even more self-esteem. Chess, religion again. You're a good person. How about self-actualization?
Fulfilling dreams.
Fulfilling your dreams. Okay, so what types of things do you love that help you fulfill your dreams?
For example, if I want to be a president,
Uh-huh.
and then I learn all different types of politics and stuff like this. So when I'm doing this, I know that this will help me achieve.
That's right. Studying. If you want to be the president and you need to learn a lot about politics, you should study a lot. So you should feel good when you study, when you're maximizing your potential. You can feel good when you're helping other people. Religion again. I could throw Shahir in here. Shahir helps me meet all of my needs. Shahir, they give me money every month. I can buy food with it. I pay my kira, I pay my rent with it. Helps me meet my safety needs. Also, I feel safe when I'm here at school. I'm not saying that I feel safe in Istanbul. I don't feel unsafe. But like here, it's like this safe community. Like I know people, I feel comfortable here. I have a lot of friends. There's students that I can talk to, other professors. I feel good. I feel like I'm valued. My students say nice things to me sometimes. Yeah.
So where is the love that we saw in films?
So where's the love that we saw in films? So when Harry Met Sally, or any of the other love films, where does that fall in? Is that what you're talking about? Yeah. So these romantic movies, how does that love fit in here?
All of them.
All of them? How? How about physiological needs?
Well, sexual needs.
Sexual, yeah. So sexual needs fall into physiological. So in a lot of the romantic movies, people end up having sex. Okay, that means a physiological need. Check. Safety needs.
Well, it's also the same. Like you feel safe with those people.
Yeah, so in some of the movies, like something bad will happen. Oh, this really bad thing happened. Oh, come here. Oh, it's okay, right? You can feel safe with me. All right, check. We need safety needs. Social needs?
A good friend as well. The lover is a good friend as well, usually.
I think the social needs is sort of a duh kind of thing, right? It's another person, you get to interact with them socially. Esteem needs.
You feel good. The person says good things to you.
Yeah, they say, I love you. You're important. You're smart. You're beautiful. Right? How do those affect your self-esteem? You feel good. How about self-actualization? This one, I'm not so sure I can see the link, but maybe some of you guys are smarter than me. Yeah.
No, but sometimes, let's say a girl,
Mhm.
she meets up a man.
Okay.
Okay, this is her dream. So when she meets this person, she's self-actualizing.
So she has a dream about a potential person that she is destined to be with, and by meeting this person and falling in love, they're actualizing themselves. Actually, this makes some sense, because when you ask people what they want to be when they grow up, people say things like, I want to be a teacher, I want to be a policeman, I want to be a kebabchi. They say things like this, but they also say, I want to be married, and I want to have kids, right? So, being in love in these romantic movies can allow you to fulfill some of these things that you see will make you a more complete, more fulfilled person. So, excellent. Wow. My hat off to you, sir. Could it be this simple? Is it really just having our needs fulfilled? So, do you guys remember Watson and Little Albert? What happened with Watson and Little Albert? Yeah, we had a rat. So there's little Albert, the baby. Here comes a rat, and what happens?
Like,
Someone makes
Boom!
noise.
That's right, a loud noise. And then what does little Albert do?
fear.
And you do this over and over again, and it starts to fear the rat. Right? And the important thing about this is it demonstrated that emotions, well, maybe not all emotions, but at least fear can be conditioned. So if we can condition fear, can we condition other emotions? Like love? Possibly. So what is love? Back to the operationalization room. How do we define it? How do we measure it? This is tricky, man. Oh, jokes are.
The triangular theory?
We don't need to worry about the triangular theory. Just how can you tell if someone loves you? Or if you love them? What things are involved? We talked about this at the beginning of the class, the beginning of the semester.
Maybe close to each other?
Proximity. So whether people choose to be close to one another, how much time they spend with one another. And as we talked about earlier, since we're scientists, we can't prove the love, but we can gather evidence in support of it, right? So we can look at proximity, the amount of time that people spend together. What else?
You can hear each other.
How do you measure if they care for each other?
Spending time.
Okay, so same thing as him, spending time.
You cannot understand if he loves you or not.
I would argue that you can never know 100% if someone loves you or not, but I would say that you can have a pretty good understanding of whether someone loves you or not, based on time based on other things?
There are some clues and evidence, but
Yeah. What are these clues and evidence? Gifts, if they buy you things, okay?
you cannot be sure.
Maybe not. Maybe not. Someone doesn't like that operationalization. What would you say?
He or she can just buy as a routine things that give them. For instance, the 4th February, they just buy. They don't even think sometimes about their meanings.
So some
It's
people.
just a ritual that the people mostly do.
So maybe gift giving isn't that great of a way to define love. In fact, if you looked at the love between my wife and I, gift giving would indicate that we really don't love each other at all. I don't buy her stuff almost ever. Birthday? Nope, sorry, you don't get anything. Happy birthday. I might cook for her, or I might do something special for her. I won't buy her anything. Christmas, Valentine's Day, nothing. I don't buy her jack. Actually, last week I bought her something. There was no reason. I just bought her a cup of her favorite coffee on the way home. But, you know, that's not much in the term of a love. What else? Yeah.
Self-devotion.
How do you measure self-devotion?
When you do anything for him or her.
So maybe not looking at how much people buy things, but the number of things that they do for that person. You can look at the size of people's smiles when they see different people, right? You can measure it in a lot of different ways. The operationalization that we're going to be talking about today has to do with time. So the amount of time that's spent doing something. So the idea is that more time indicates more love. If you love someone, you'll want to spend time with them. If you love Palermo's pizza, then when you have an opportunity to go back home to Chicago, you'll spend more time eating pizza at Palermo's and less time eating it at Baracco's. Wow. So this is often used in infant research. They look at how much infants look at one picture versus another, or how much time they stop sucking. So the infants, you get a hungry infant, and they suck, 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 and then you present to them their mother's voice or someone else's voice, and they'll stop for a second. How long do they stop? When it's their mother's voice, they stop longer, indicating that they're paying more attention, which is a proxy for love. If you love someone more, you're going to pay more attention to them. And this is used by Harlow, and this is perhaps not the best operationalization. You guys can come up with better ones. So, Harry Harlow's Surrogate Mothers, what did he do?
Two groups of infants.
Yeah, he took two groups of infants, infant monkeys. He took away their mothers. Man, this science. Oh, me. Okay, so we're going to take these baby monkeys, and we're going to take away their moms, and then what?
The machine moms.
Yeah.
We have different types of surrogate mothers. So what is a surrogate?
Substitute.
It's like a substitute. You don't have a real mom, so we're going to give you a substitute mom, right? If some of you, if your mothers died, your parents, they may have remarried, you have a new mother, a surrogate mother, or I have a surrogate mother, my stepmother, my mother and father, they divorced, my father remarried, so I have a surrogate mother when I go out to visit my dad. So he took baby monkeys away from their mothers and he gave them two different types of surrogates. What were the different types? One of them was soft. Another one was made out of wire. So here it's sort of hard to see, but this one is just made out of wire mesh. It's just a cylinder of wire mesh. And this one has cloth over it. So one is wire, one is cloth, and they vary where the monkeys got their food from. So we randomly assign them. Some of the monkeys get the food from the wire one, some of the monkeys get the food from the cloth one, right? And what happens? He's looking at time, the amount of time that the baby's monkeys spend with each of the mothers, right? The whole idea is that if you love one of the mothers more, you'll spend more of your time with that mother. Okay? So which one do they spend more time with? They spend more time with the soft one. Regardless of which one is providing them food, they spend more time with the soft monker. With the soft monkey mother. Yeah. Okay, so how do we interpret this result with Maslow? When they were hungry, what would they do? When they were hungry, they would go to the mother that fed them, right? So in the situation where it was the wire mother that was feeding them, they preferred the wire one when they were hungry. But when they weren't hungry, what other types of needs did they have? So they have safety needs, social needs, esteem needs, I don't know if you want to say self-actualization needs, but otherwise they spent time with the cloth mothers. The cloth. This is like this safe, comforting thing. On wire, you can cut yourself and scratch yourself. With the cloth, feels sort of nice. What type of things do you guys sleep with when you go to bed? Do you guys put on soft blankets, or do you put on like hard blankets that are made out of roofing shingles? Soft ones, right? Maybe even you might say that it's helping them meet their social and esteem needs. Or Harlow. In some other experiments, Harlow demonstrated that monkeys raised with a cloth mother were healthier. And they were more secure than those raised with the wire mother. So remember when we talked about attachment patterns? We talked about the secure attachment. So the ones with the secure, or with the cloth mother, showed less signs of fear when new objects were inserted into their environment. They showed more signs of exploration, so they would go and explore more. When they got scared, they would go back to the cloth mother, just like a securely attached infant would. They had less illness, so they got sick and died less often, right? Which suggests that they had less stress. Without the surrogate or real mother, they were unable to form normal social relationships. So after these baby monkeys are grown up, they take them out and they let them interact with other monkeys. And the ones that were raised on the cloth mother interacted much more normally than the ones who were raised on the wire mother. The ones without the cloth mother showed signs of depression and later showed a lot of difficulty trying to mate. So it looks like they have some love problems. All right, so security, familiarity, and love. So love the one you're with. There's some evidence that suggests that who you choose to be a mate depends on how familiar you are with them. Remember when I talked about pizza earlier? And the home? You're familiar with your home. You're familiar with certain types of foods. By being in different social environments, you become familiar with different types of people. So a lot of people, at least in the movies, there's this sort of idea like, oh, you see someone and like, boom, oh my goodness, it's you. I love you. But typically, things don't often happen like that. People become attached to the people that they're with. Why did I marry my wife? Well, one, I loved her, but why her? So, very interestingly, we happen to live in the same place. We both lived in the same building. Had we not lived in the same building, I wouldn't have met her. Would I have found someone else? Yes, of course. Yeah, probably. This whole idea of like, oh, there's just one person for you and you have to find this one person. To me, this sort of seems sort of odd. There are multiple people that I could think of in my past that I could have married. Why did it happen to be Amy as opposed to someone else? Timing, maturity, and she was in the right place at the right time. So mate choice depends on familiarity. Music preference depends on familiarity. What types of music do you like? Is it music that you heard when you were growing up more? Yeah, often it's music that your parents exposed you to. Why do so many churches like hot dogs and corn on pizza? To me, being from Chicago, which is a huge pizza town, this is obscene. Corn and hot dogs on pizza? Seriously, WTF? Why? Pizza, Palermo's, pepperoni, mozzarella cheese. You guys don't even have mozzarella cheese at the local markets. I can't find it. So what's up with the corn and the hot dogs? Why?
The corn
Turkish people like meat, they like eggs. So, this meets my physiological needs just as well as my favorite Palermo's pizza does, right? I mean, a pizza, kebab, sushi, they all meet my physiological needs, yet I love some things more than others. Why?
And we are familiar.
I'm familiar with some things more often. If I grew up in Turkey eating these delicious hot dog and corn pizzas, I would probably think that they're great too. But I didn't. I grew up in a different environment. And in the environment that I grew up in, pizza without corn and hot dogs was correlated with safety. I ate it at home, in a place that I felt safe. I ate it with friends. So it's correlated with meeting my social needs. It's something I did when I was being social. And by being home and it's safe with friends and family who love me, they're helping me feel better about myself. So I'm getting physiological safety, social, and esteem needs sort of met by my Palermo's pizza, which other people get met by different types of food. So there's some biological bases for love. Earlier we talked about oxytocin being a moral molecule. There are some other neurotransmitters that are also released during love-like social interactions. So vasopressin, this is released during sex, but it's also released when you have a good conversation with someone. And if you, what am I trying to say? If you use a drug that blocks vasopressin, so it's an antagonist, people have a hard time bonding socially with others in situations that they normally would. Dopamine also is involved. Dopamine is released during sex and also in positive social interactions. Dopamine is highly related to reward and motivation. Dopamine is the stuff that all addictive drugs have in common. Alcohol is a dopamine agonist. In a complex series of events, it's a dopamine agonist. LSD, marijuana, nicotine, amphetamines, cocaine, these are all dopamine agonists. The most closely related drugs to dopamine are cocaine and amphetamine. Do you remember when we talked about amphetamine? This actually reverses reuptake. So reuptake is normally sucking dopamine out of the synapse, and when you get amphetamine, it basically floods the synapse with dopamine, and people feel awesome. This is the stuff that's involved with love. People talk about addicted to love. There's a song, Addicted to Love. Is this possible? There's this cute little cartoon. Dude, I'm a little worried about this girl I'm seeing. Why is that? I'm really good at screwing things up. How do you hold on to a girl? Oh, I had a method. See, when she was sleeping, I would put those little Nicorette patches on her back. Do you guys know Nicorette patches? People who are trying to quit smoking, they'll buy Nicorette. It's a little patch. It's like a Band-Aid, but it has nicotine in it. So by putting this patch, you get nicotine, which releases dopamine. So he put these dopamine-releasing patches on her back. Then in the morning, I take them off before she woke. So whenever I wasn't around, she'd get these terrible cravings. Never wanted to leave. Is that possible? How could classical conditioning work here with love?
When you are with that person,
Yeah.
you feel good. There's something positive about yourself. So that when he leaves, you really want to be back with him.
Well, so with just the classical conditioning, you take the person, right, a neutral stimulus, and you add in the dopamine. And you create a link between these two. And this person who might be completely neutral to someone else is no longer neutral to you, right? Instead, they're a conditioned stimulus. And now you feel good when you're around that person. Right? This leads to attachment. Now this, I would argue, affects other behaviors. So how does operant conditioning fit in? So if you feel good when you go around someone, I like you, so what am I going to do?
The things that you like.
Okay?
And that will even make you more.
If I like him, what am I going to do?
Go and eat your favorite pizza, and then that will feel even like this person makes you eat good pizza and experience this nice thing, so you even develop further.
Okay, but if I like him, I'm not just going to go eat my favorite pizza. Who am I going to do it with? I'm going to go eat my favorite pizza with him.
Yeah, I meant that.
Right? Yeah.
Together.
So if we're reinforced around a person, this is going to push us to be around the person more. And we're going to spend more time with the people, which we talked about as one of the ways that people have operationalized love. Interestingly, these processes can work like addiction, right? Just like amphetamines and cocaine can be addictive, maybe love can be addictive. So if we think about tolerance, how does tolerance sort of fit in here? So remember, there was the article that I had you guys look at, and it said that early on in romantic relationships, there's a ton of brain activity in areas related to reward. So lots of dopamine. And what happens over time? These areas slow down. They stop being as strongly activated. So when you first fall in love with someone and you're like, oh, Jenna, mashallah, right? You have this really strong activation. But just like any drug, you start to tolerate it more. So when I first married my wife, we were around each other all the time. And, oh, what did you do today? And if I wasn't around her, I would call her. And now after 10 years, she calls me and I haven't talked to her in 10 hours. And I say, what? Can I call you back in 10 minutes? It's different, right? I built up a tolerance. So what do people do when they build up to a tolerance?
They look up for other relationships.
Yeah, with love, they look for additional relationships sometimes. Sometimes they cheat. Why? Because by engaging in a new relationship, they get a new hit of dopamine. Those same brain parts that were activated earlier now are getting reactivated again. How about dependence? Yeah.
In countries like Yemen, where polygamy is allowed, we can marry another woman.
Excellent. So where polygamy is allowed, you can marry another woman. Right? Does this create any types of problems? Of course. So there was a huge debate about polygamy, right? What's the big problem with polygamy? No problem. Mashallah. Peygamber yaptı, right? Are there any potential problems with polygamy? Like what? Jealousy! Oh, man! Yeah, this can create jealousy. Yeah, so think about your esteem needs, right? Your esteem needs. You have one person giving their devotion to you. How does this make you feel? Good. Now all of a sudden your partner says, oh, I still like you, but I'm going to get another one too. Then how does that make you feel? Less. I can't provide everything, right? So this affects self-esteem negatively. Anyway, there are also symptoms of dependence and withdrawal. So people, after they break up, after being in a relationship, they also often show signs of depression. Very interestingly, long-term couples that have been together for years and years and years, when one couple dies, there is a much greater chance that the other person will die shortly thereafter. I'm going to try to go through this really quickly so we can hit up fast. There's some ideas that there are different types of love, not just in Turkish, but in English too. So people talk about affection, being a fondness that we show towards someone, which is different than phileo, which is friendship. So I might show affection to other people's children, even though I'm not friends with those kids, which is different than a romantic type of love. Right? I treat someone that I'm romantically involved with different than someone I'm just friends with. And then there's the agape, or the caring love, the fuller love, the highest love. Anyway, Sternberg came up with this triangular theory of love, and he said there are 3 dimensions. Intimacy, which is basically sharing things together, not necessarily sexual intimacy. There's the passion, which he thought was related to lust. But I'm not sure that we have to involve like this lust, sexual attraction when we talk about passion. Because I'm obviously passionate about Palermo's pizza, even though I have no interest in doing anything sexual with it. Commitment, right? There's this dedication to someone else, a shared history and future. If you look at the at the triangle, you can think about different types of relationships. So when you have intimacy, that means you're sharing things with someone else, but you're not always thinking about them, and you have no real commitment to them. This is sort of like a work friend. I share things with people that I work with here, but I don't think about them elsewhere. If I had a different job, I wouldn't be busy worried about them and thinking about them. However, if I add some commitment into my intimacy, we have something like a best friend. Something that I care about for more of a long-term relationship. If we get rid of the sharing and we only have the commitment, this is like a forced arranged marriage, where the people don't come together necessarily because they want to, but the social norms are telling them that you have to be committed to one another. If you add commitment and passion, so constant thoughts about someone and you're committed to them, this is sort of like a stalker. So I'm really passionate about you, I'm always thinking about you, I'm obsessing about you, I'm committed to you, but I'm not intimate at all. I'm not sharing anything with you. If you have just this passion, this is like a crush. A one-night stand, perhaps. Romantic love, where you're sharing things and also obsessing about the person. This is like a traditional boyfriend or girlfriend. And then finally, when all these things come together, you have, hopefully, like a good spouse, where you are committed to them, where you are intimate with them, you share details, and where you think about them, you care about them a lot. You guys can look over the questions, and next class we'll talk about sex.